It's a new episode. It's a new favourite view in the park. Come at me, bro. Yes. Love it, love it, love it. I've done some triggers. Go me. Aren't I clever? And the 2022 best of episode is already writing itself. Nothing changes, guys. Gosh, it's dark. Who turned out the lights? Hey everybody, how's it going? So thanks for coming along to episode number 6 of Grosvenor Gardens. How are you guys doing? How's your week been? Good? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. So here we are back in Planet Coaster. We are plagiarising Gardaland. Yeah, but last episode we actually plagiarised Phantasialand instead, but don't tell them because, you know, Gardaland will get jealous. So here we are, Temple of Chak. We did a lot of work in this episode. There's a lot of rock work going on and foliage and all sorts. So if you need to go and see the episode, then you can absolutely do that. But this is my favourite sightline of the park so far. It just looks absolutely awesome. However, you can see that the sightline elsewhere has already changed. You've probably already spotted it because, yes, Grosvenor Gardens now has a dive coaster. This was the coaster that won the poll last week. So thank you to everybody that took part. The Woody is going to happen. It's just not going to happen yet. So I don't know whether it's going to be an RMC or whether it's going to be a GCI. I haven't quite decided. But this is what we've got for now. So we're going from a lovely view to an absolute hot mess, and we know how this works episode-wise. So, in terms of styling and profiling, I'm using new style B&M track and new style shaping, but I've actually gone for the wide trains rather than using the floorless coaster type and having the floorless trains, and that's purely for throughput and everything reasons. So yeah, let's have a look at this whole area then. So the area is at the bottom of the hill. It's exactly as I wanted it to be. And I'm going for this idea of a less imposing coaster, despite the fact it actually is quite imposing. I'm taking a few cues from Chacholandia when I did the wing coaster. And because that was next to the hyper coaster, it didn't actually look that scary, despite the fact it was the third tallest coaster in the park. So that's what I'm doing here. I've shoved the dive coaster right at the bottom of the hill, so it doesn't look so scary, but actually it's 50 metres, so it's a beast. It really is. So this is the area I'm going for. 3 supporting rides with the top spin, the disco, and also the rocker, that Rocktopus. So 3 supporting rides, some shops in the area, and also the area at the back here I'm leaving intentionally blank because I need to do some things in the future. I wonder if you can guess what it's going to be. So this is the dive coaster. We're going to come out of the station and we're going to go up a 40-degree lift hill. Now, this is, as I said, a complete hot mess. I'm going to need to do a lot of custom supporting and a lot of stuff to make this look right. So forgive the mess. But we're going to go up this 40-degree lift hill. We're going to go around the bend and then we're going to hit the brake, the drop brake. Now, I don't like how Planet Coaster does the drop brake because it takes it right to the 90-degree limit and you... In real life, it's 45 degrees, but hey, we can't fight with the game. I can't recode the game even if I wanted to, so it is what it is. So then we come down here, and yes, of course, we're about to rip off another park because we're coming straight into a splashdown. Yeah, so Cracker at Hyder Park says hi. We're coming down into the splashdown and then into an Immelman. Now, the Immelman for this one is actually a bit weirdly shaped. I've profiled it exactly as Cracker's is. I don't know if I'm even saying that right, by the way. That's how I've always said it. Cracker, whatever. So the Immelman is exactly as it is in real life. That's all you need to know. And so as a result, it has this really weird profile and shape. But it is what it is. And then we come into this overbanked turn. Now, you see these quite a lot on new B&Ms. So Emperor at SeaWorld is using one of these. And so is Mako, the hypercoaster. So this is typical of B&M now. And it just enables you to have a really high profile, high banked turn that comes around in a short space of time. And I wanted this to come right underneath the drop as well, because I can make a feature of the supports and everything that are going to come in here. So head choppers and stuff are going on. And then we come into a 0G turn. So these things are really hard to profile. I mean, it's as decent. It's as decent as you're going to get, but it's still not entirely perfect. But yeah, they basically involve a 0G roll that comes around, and then on the exit, it comes into a turn down this way. So Emperor again is using one of these, so I've tried my best to profile this. I think it's as best as you're going to get, because otherwise it gets a bit janky on this side. So it's fine, it's good enough. Then we're going to come into a parabolic airtime hill. Going to give some awesome ejector airtime, and so for this one, I've actually decided to put a point of no return block break in. Now, this is not really the place that you'd put it because it isn't a point of no return. This bit is higher than this bit. But because of the way that the game deals with the offloading and unloading of guests and the dispatch of the trains, I'm playing the game at its own game, right? I'm not fighting with it, so I'm just going to put this here because it just creates the perfect opportunity. If you watch videos of the Liseberg dive coaster, that's really long and uses trains that are smaller than this. So in theory, you would not need one here. You'd be able to run the entire course before this train down here is actually ready to dispatch. But that's not how the game wants to play it. So I've just put this in so I can ensure the throughput and I can run 3 trains. I'm sorry if you don't like that, but that's on you. And then from there we're going to come into a dive loop. So we're going to come up and then it's going to come back round. Then we come into a wave turn. So B&Ms are starting to use these quite a lot on their new coasters. And again, it's just a way of being able to take a bit of a shallower but lower to the ground profiled turn. And then we're going to come into a final 0G roll, and it's an elongated 0G roll. So whereas you're used to seeing the flawless ones that come up to a point and come back down again, these ones are more drawn out, and they actually take them slower. It gives a bit of hang time that's on the top here, and then it comes down in this way, and then it comes around to the final bend, and into the brake run here. And like I say, I am using the wide trains on this one. If I wanted to, I could use the flawless type and then make that vertical, and that would give you the look and feel of Emperor. But just know that the trains are smaller. So Emperor, I think, is a 7-seater across, or it might be 6, whereas the flawless trains in game are 4. Trade-off, it's up to you. But no, I've gone for this one. And because I've gone for the wide trains, there is also no oh, look at the state of that in a moment. There is also no heartline rolling on any of these, and that's because it's too wide. You use the same profiling as you would do a wing coaster because it's the same width as a wing coaster train. So yeah, before you come at me for the lack of heartline rolling, this one wouldn't have heartline rolling because of the width of the trains. And so this is how it's looking from the top. I think I'm going for a pirate or a sea theme, but I haven't quite decided yet. I need to play this one out. So I'm going to shut up and actually get on with it. I'll see you in a minute. Alright then, you guys. It's the middle bit of the episode. I've got plenty to show you. But first, get ready to be triggered. I've got a good one for you this week. No one gives a crap about your marketing-driven height categories for roller coasters because in the grown-up world, we use the metric system to measure things. Yeah, okay, it's not strictly true on many levels, but I never said that my opinions weren't allowed to be hypocritical. So what have you got to say about that one then? I'm actually interested to hear your opinions on that one because we have debated it before in Chacholandia, so bring them on. Okay, so let's get on to the real stuff. Let's get on to the stuff that you actually want to see and look at. Look, plenty of things going on in this one. So we've got a dive coaster, of course we have, and we've got plenty of scenery. Now I've gone in this instance for Stucco Pirate. It's apparently a category. If it's that's what it's called Stucco Pirate. So whereas before I was using a lot of wood, this is actually using a lot of stucco stuff and the castle stuff. I've never actually used the castle stuff before, so this is quite exciting. Or at least not for its intended purposes. This is quite exciting. So this is what we've got going. It shares quite a lot of the palette with the Tudor stuff that I was doing in Chacholandia, as it turns out. But this is what I'm going for. I wanted to go for this stucco kind of building, which is going to be the ride station building. And then I wanted to have a castle effect, as if it was like a bit of a keep for a pirate village. So this is where they would be defending the pirate village from whatever is out at sea. And so, yeah, we're using the castle stuff for this. I have gone for a bit more of a modern feeling with it as well, as if this ride is relatively new, but not too new. So we've got the idea of the glass in the front, and then very clean looking brick. I could have used the crypt stone. It's actually a little bit aged. It's got a little bit of wear and tear to it, but no, I actually wanted this to look a little bit clean. So yeah, this is the gift shop, and as you can see inside, I have done some stuff. So I'm actually starting to use some new gift shop stuff. I don't know if you will have noticed. So I've just started to kit this out inside here. Of course, it needs further decoration, further detailing and stuff. There's bits and things missing from walls and whatever, so that's going to come in the next update. Then of course, wait, let me change the camera. We've got some different ride photos for you. So yep, I've just copied across the screens and stuff, but yeah, we're going to have different ride photos that are going on in here. And then the queue line itself, I have kept this in the front here. I wanted it to be all batched together, and I'm going to want some scenery and stuff in here. This is going to be a very different queue to how we did Kraken in Chacholandia, in the sense that that was all a concreted area or a cobbled area. This is going to be different. It's going to have some scenery and stuff in the middle, so I need to put all of that in here. But yes, this is going to be one of those cattle pen from hell kind of queues. And we absolutely love it. Of course we do. And then over in this direction, we have ourselves our station. So I've just started on the mechanism. This maintenance shed wasn't in on the first update because I didn't actually know where I was going to put it. I had originally thought I was going to put it in here, but I was then going to struggle with hiding the access to it as in part of the ride. So I've actually ended up putting it in here, and it fits quite nicely. The 0G comes over the top of it, and then yeah, it's absolutely fine here. So inside, as you would expect, I have done all of the usual kitting out and stuff. So yeah, it's just representative of a maintenance area in here. I've got a little bit more touching up to do. There's a few cranes and stuff that I need to put in here, so that's going to come shortly. And then over in this direction, I'm just starting to get a feel for the actual area itself. So of course we've got Rocktopus sitting in the middle. It needs a bit of theming, needs a bit of scenery, and needs to come to life a little bit. But it's going to eventually come to life. And then I've started this idea of an area sign. I think I quite like it, actually. I quite like how it's sort of turned out. And then we've got the view of the drop from here. Just to let you know, by the way, I have actually reprofiled this Immelman. It turns out that in the first update, I was using an autosave that hadn't saved some of my changes because I had a game crash, and I was actually using an out-of-date Immelman shape. So now it's profiled on Kraken rather than how it was before. So there you go. You can see now that it's actually looking far better than it did in the first one. So yeah, I've decided that I'm not going to do the top spin in this episode, and I'm also not going to do much to the disco over on the other side because of reasons that you're going to see at the end of this episode. So we're going to hold on to that for now. This little building I kind of love. You know, it's like this really quaint, cute little pirate building. It needs its pirate paraphernalia adding to it, but I just wanted this idea of having a cosmic cow place, so that's why it's got the little pink going on, but it's still very piratey. It's quite pirate villagey. So yeah, I just wanted to have it. I just wanted to have something in there, and as I said a couple of episodes ago, I'm trying this idea of different architectures and different building shapes and sizes and stuff, because I tend to use a lot of square shaped buildings, and talking of square shaped buildings, here is one. right on cue. We've got a restaurant. So we've got a lot of food and stuff that's going to be sold in here. So on the outside, I wanted this to feel like a bit of a pirate stucco town hall. So that's what we're going for here. It needs a bit more pirate paraphernalia just to make it obvious that it's pirate and not fantasy or fairy tale. But that's what we're going for in this kind of instance. And there's like a lot of instances of classical architecture, you know, like Romanesque architecture being used in pirate stuff. And so that's what I'm doing here. I wanted to have an overhang. And again, it's this idea of trying out different architecture sizes and styles and stuff. So I wanted to have this bit here that was sticking out. Then I wanted an overhang, and then I wanted the main building itself. So that's I think I've kind of achieved it. I think I'm kind of on the right lines. I just need to put its final details, you know, work out where all the bins and the benches and stuff are going to go before I can actually bring it to life. But I don't really want any more detailing on the building than this. I might just weather it a little bit. There's a couple of like open bricks and stuff effects that I could put on here, so I need to play it out and see how that's going to go. But inside here, I'm taking a lot of cues from a lot of the areas that I'm already building in game, or in the rest of the park. I'm using a lot of ceiling decoration in this park, and that's not something that I've really done before. So all I've done here is I've just pulled the fence from the actual main pirate theme and the netting as well, just to give it a bit of something different to look at. And then inside here, of course, we're going to have all of the benches and picnic benches and stuff representing tables, and I'll put some decor and stuff down. I didn't want to go down that Gardaland route because I did that in Chacholandia, so it kind of feels like that's already been seen before, so I just wanted to make it a little bit different. But we do have a bar. I love doing this sort of build. You know, the ones where nobody actually cares. But I just love it. I think it looks really good. I found some new stuff as well. I found this beer poster, or this beer menu on the workshop recently. So I thought, I definitely want to use it. So I wanted to keep this simple. And of course, there's going to be ceiling and stuff here that's going to hide all of this monstrosity that's going on up here. But I just wanted to keep it nice and simple, just to represent a bar. A bit more touching up and a bit more detailing is going to be needed in here. But, you know, you get the idea of how this is going to feel right now. So that's exactly as I wanted it. And then this is how it's going to look on the inside. Again, just wanted to keep it simple. It's a square building, so it is what it is, really. I mean, the money's going to be spent on the area outside, right, rather than anything else. I've decided that I'm actually going to copy. I am going to copy one of the ideas from Chacholandia, and that was having the pirate ship in the front here. So I think I'm going to do that. It's going to be like a central focal point, and that's actually then going to make sense to what I'm going to ask you about at the end of the episode. It's going to make this whole area then make sense. So I want to do that sort of early. And then the final bit really to show you is a building that's not really dressed up properly on the outside. Because it's just, I was just using this as a placeholder, really. But it's a Chacho toilet! So, because you guys love it when I do toilets, because you're weirdos. You're beautiful weirdos. So we got the Chacho toilet going on in here. A bit of strobing on the ground, but it's fine. So yeah, it's a functional toilet. There's a toilet hidden in the back here. But I am very aware that in the last episode, I just copied across the toilet, and it was a very lazy way of doing it. So it felt like it was time to actually do another proper toilet. So with this one, I wanted to use the same building effects and the same stuff that I'm using over in the bar, so that it's at least a consistent design point. And I think I'm probably going to use this elsewhere as well. I think I'm going to use this in the queue for the actual dive coaster. So yeah, it's it's all right, you know. I quite like it. I don't know if I'm going to put some what they call, not curbing. They don't use curbing in buildings, do you? What a stupid thing to say. Skirting board. I don't know if I'm going to put any skirting down here, but hey, we'll soon find out. We'll soon see. I need to play out the area. So this is how the whole area is actually looking. My camera, look at that. That was seamless. Well done. So here we go. This is how the whole area is looking right now. This is how it's looking from the top, by the way. I know that I like to give you the view from the top, so you can see that the actual village itself is now starting to come together. There's going to be stuff from whatever that's going on here that's going to again make this whole area make sense, but this is how it's looking from the top. I like how this is coming together, and just in the interests of maintaining the discussion, now that you are triggered by it, 50 meters. So on that note, let's carry on. I'll see you in a minute. Alright then, you guys, as the train approaches, it's time for the done for now stamp to come out, and I'll tell you why it's for now in a moment, but first I need to pretend like I can talk Italian, because we have a name, and that's Laurel Sauro, and I am so sorry for the Italians. I can't speak Italian. I can't roll my R's, so I'm rubbish at it. But Orangutan Plays, thank you so much for the name on this one. You won by a clear mile. Like, I don't think I've ever seen such a clear winner on this one, so really, really thank you for the name suggestion. This is absolutely perfect for this, even if I can't say it. As you can probably hear, that our top spin is working. So I actually just threw this together. This is by no means done in any way, shape or form, but it needed to be done for this area to feel a bit more complete. Now, I've got 3 or 4 episodes that need to happen for this area to actually be complete. I need to do this one up here, which is the terrain work and the path work that's going to come from the main entrance, and the area that's going to be at the top here. There's an episode that needs to be done for this back area and bring that to life, and then there's also the next episode, which I'm going to introduce you to in a moment, which is going to influence some of the stuff that we've got going on in here. So for now, what I've done is just a bit of terrain work on the back of the on the back end of the coaster, a couple of retaining walls and a couple of stuff that's been put into place, a bit of the foliage and a bit of the things in here. But like I say, it's the stuff that's going to come at the back of here that's going to influence what this area actually looks like. And for that reason, the don't die fencing and the perimeter fencing is not actually completely complete. Like there's a gap here, and I've left a little bit of a gap along here, or a little vulnerability along here, because I need to know what the path is going to do in order to know whether I need to actually change where this fence is sitting. So just to point that out. But overall, I'm really chuffed with how this has turned out. I wasn't too sure about it to start with. I did have a bit of a moment of going, oh, I'm not really liking this, you know, especially after the last episode. I was thinking, oh, this is a bit rubbish, but actually it came to life. And the reason I was feeling so about it was because it felt too open, it felt too exposed. But as I started to put foliage in, it still felt open and exposed. But now it's I've put these plaza bits in, it's worked out quite nicely. So I'm liking how this is. So let's have a look around then. So to start with the station and the queue line building, I've kept this for the moment very elegant and very clean. Let me know in the comments below whether we should keep it clean or whether we should actually clutter this out with some pirate stuff to make it look a little bit more obvious. But I quite like how this is looking. It's just supposed to be a town square, right? It's not supposed to be fleshed out with too much pirate stuff. But what I do like from here is that you get some awesome views of the coaster. So you've got the actual main drop, you can see the turnaround, you can see the weird zero-G turn, and also the zero-G roll as the train goes past. Look at that for timing. That's quality content. Looking at trees, nah, that's quality content. Yeah, so you get some really good views. And then you've also got the gift shop that's here as well. I quite like how the gift shop has turned out. It's sort of sitting there quite nicely as a bit of a fort, and then you've got all of the trees and stuff in the background, so it gives it a bit of depth without it actually needing too much depth. And if we go inside, I've got to be careful because the roof on this is actually quite small, quite shallow, quite low. There we go, get the right camera. Okay, so if we go into the gift shop, you can see that I've just kitted out some more stuff in here. So we've got signs and we've got different wall textures. And I've just done some tidying up in here and some extra little bits, you know, vending machines and stuff that are in here. I'll show you the photo point in a moment because we're going to actually have a look at the ride and stuff first. So the queue line itself, love how the queue line has now turned out. I wanted this idea of the pathing, the stone pathing that I'm using, going right the way through and there being no breaks, because I like doing that. You know that I like doing that, right? So this is now the queue line. It's just this massive cattle pen that's not a complete cattle pen. It's like broken up in the middle with little bits of piratey stuff and whatever. A couple of sunshades because we need to have the sunshade because this is a very exposed queue. So I've put the sunshades in and I pulled them in from the front of the park because it's consistency. So I didn't want to design a completely different sunshade. I wanted to use the front of the park one so that we've got that consistency. I have changed the brake speed, by the way. This was coming in too hot. So I've now reduced the brake speed, so it's working a lot better. So yeah, this is the idea, as I said, of the pathing going into the queue line and then hitting this back wall fence. So I like how this has turned out. So queue nerds, you would probably like it. And then maintenance area, I've done nothing in. It's still as it was. There we go. It's still as it was. Nothing really changed, but it's just represented quite nicely. It's hidden quite nicely. Actually gives Griffin field vibes really. But hey, it's fine. And then inside here, I've kept this elegant and simple as well. I could have gone all out. I could have done this weird, like, too much theming going on. But actually, I quite like how in here it's just simple. It's pirate paraphernalia. You've got the rusted steel that's on the wall. You've got the wheels. What they call it? They're not steering wheels, are they? I don't know what they're called. The wheels anyway. The wheels on the bus. And then just all the piratey stuff. I've done the ride ops cabin, the baggage hold, and all of that. And underneath here, I have just done some touching up just to put some electrics and whatever in here. But actually, Planet Coaster already does a pretty good job at the mechanisms for the actual dropping floor. Yeah, so it's fine. It's fine as it is. And then just at the back here, I've just done the touching up of the roofing and all of the woodwork and stuff. I like how this is. I like how this has turned out. And then when you come around the back here and you actually leave the ride, you get some pretty decent views of the actual coaster itself. So like you get a really good view for the lift hill nerds. There's one. And then we then got a good one of the turnaround, and then you're going to be able to come through this way, and you enter into the gift shop. And then just the ride photos are all done in here. So I've got some clipping that I need to sort out, but that's fine. It's on my list of snagging things to do. And then the front here, I've just ended up with just a simple ride sign that's been placed in the front here, just to give the plaza area a bit of a break up, and then just some picnic benches and round. I've used picnic benches in this area rather than actual benches because it felt like this would be more of a congregational area, especially as when you look at it from the top and you look at its placement in the park, it is pretty much the central part of the spoken wheel. So it's like, yeah, okay, that's pretty much where it's going to go. I've also put the ride camera in. I'm not too sure about the placement of it. It's supposed to be trying to capture as you are on the drop. So it's in the right position. It's in the same position as Oblivion's, but I just don't know how we sit with it being in the water and stuff, but it's fine. If you needed to fix it, you just get a boat. And then over in Cosmic Cow, I've just done some touching up here. So I like how this has turned out. This one I do like. It's elegant because it's two different buildings. It's a different shape, and it's come together now. It's got the signs and stuff in place. It's simple. It's elegant. It does what it needs to do. I like it. It's good. And then we come over to the central bit. So this was the central thing that I wanted to put in. I am going to move the disco. The disco is going to be over here, for reasons I'll tell you shortly. But yeah, this is the central feature. I didn't want to put any smoke or anything in here. I think I did that in Chacholandia. I quite like how it did turn out, but actually I like that this is pretty plain. Yeah, it sits there quite nicely, and as I said, it's going to be a good focal point for whatever's coming in the next episode. And then we have our restaurant. So I've just put some details and stuff on the outside. So we have gustoso. And that basically means tasty in Italian. And then you've got the burgers, pizza, beer and water stuff going on. I've put all of the picnic benches and stuff on the outside. I have weathered the brick using some TMTK stuff, so you can download these decals that you can stick onto the walls, and it actually looks really good. It was another one I wasn't really sure of until I put the signs on, and as soon as I put these and the signs together, the building came to life, and I was like, actually, yes, this is good. I've also put in, because we've got steps here, I've put in a ramp for our disabled friends, so or our wheelchair users, so they can still get into the actual restaurant as well. And then if we go inside this way, there we go. So the bar is pretty much as I left it. We could put some promo stuff on here. As I said, I want to do some like custom stuff to put onto the screens and whatever. So, but the bar is the bar is done, and I've just done some really light decoration in here. So as I said, the ceiling is already done, and I've now just put, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I've put the rusted steel, the rusted corrugated iron at the top, because it felt like I needed to bring that through from the ride station. And then of course you've got actual functional shops that make this work in game. So there's a lot that's going on. Oh, and the toilets. Don't forget the toilets. Toilets are just finished in here. There's not really a lot that's changed, other than the fact it's now got a roof and it's now looking a bit more pulled together and a bit more complete. So there's a lot going on in this episode. There's a lot of work that's gone into this, and there's a lot of pre-work that's been going on. As I said, there's a lot of stuff that I need to do in future episodes, which brings me quite nicely on to what's happening in the next episode, because we need a launched coaster, and we need the launch to be in this kind of area. So I'm putting a poll on the community tab. You know what to do. Let's have a massive vote. So guys, thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. I really do appreciate all of the support and all the love that you give. It means the absolute world to me. So I look forward to seeing you next week here for the launch coaster. Let's go for a ride. Let's actually do this. Glorioso. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. I don't think anybody's going to notice I just said that wrong.